Good morning, traders. I'm Emily Vani, the CEO of the Investment Banking Institute and your host here at NewsWare's Trade Talk. Joining me is trading anchor Bill Olson, who brings more than 30 years of institutional trading experience to our program. At Trade Talk, we provide the facts, themes, and trading ideas for the day ahead. Today is Wednesday, January 22nd. Today's move follow a strong day on Wall Street yesterday in the first regular trading session after Trump officially took office for the second time on Monday. The Dow surged 537 points, or nearly 1.25%. The S&P 500 rose 52 points, or 0.88%. The Nasdaq climbed 126 points, or 0.64%. Bill, let's get into today's action with what is happening in the markets this morning.
Hi, yes. Good morning, Emily. I'm watching the S&Ps. We're showing some gains. We're up 0.48%. That's a positive move. That's a positive move higher. And what's causing this is these tech stocks are gaining this morning. That's really causing this market to push higher. The tech rally is kind of due. It's really due to that White House announcement yesterday and that Stargate Project. The Stargate Project is like a $500 billion fund to build out AI infrastructure. It's being backed by Oracle, OpenAI, it's being, and others, and even a Japanese investment bank firm, SoftBank. So that's really fueling this tech rally this morning. And, these tech stocks are still seeing gains because of that. Now, there are concerns over tariffs, and we all know that. Trump has spoken multiple times about imposing 25% tariffs on February 1st, on countries like Mexico and Canada. If you look at the flip side of the coin, just the other day, he announced that he's putting the trade data under review, and that report is not scheduled until April 1st. So that's a difference. I mean, is it going to be April 1st is when you're going to have the data? So why would you put on the tariffs on February 1st? That doesn't make sense. So it's probably just tough talk from President Trump. Earnings, key focus today. We had a strong earnings beat, strong earnings report from Netflix, IBKR, released. Johnson & Johnson also released. Abbott Labs released. We had a number of earnings reports last night and today. I see that Elon Musk is urging a California judge to prevent OpenAI from transitioning from a non-for-profit to a for-profit company, because he thinks it's going to help Microsoft dominate the cloud computing sector of the rapidly growing AI sector. And that is kind of true. It bodes well for Microsoft in that case. I also want to point out that Trump's going to be speaking tonight with a Fox News host. I'm expecting a lot of tough talk from him, which probably won't be good for the markets for tomorrow. But for today, it's all about earnings and this Stargate Project. That's the hot headlines I see coming in. But now we want to take a look at what's going on overseas in the overseas markets. Specifically, we want to start off with the DAX. The DAX is showing a strong gain. It's up 271 points. That's 1.29%. You got the FTSE. The FTSE's up 17 points, or 0.2%. The CAC, the CAC is showing gains this morning. That's up 78 points, or about 1%. The CAC, that's like the 7th consecutive session of gains. I mean, the luxury stocks are continuing to move higher. Germany's also trading at a record high. Corporate earnings, Adidas came in with strong earnings. London, you've seen some positive action on oil stocks, which is good. And then last night in Asia, Asia had a mixed bag. Tokyo jumped 618 points, or 1.58%. The fact that Trump held off on doing any tariffs on day one of his presidency was a positive, and that news on the tech stocks, AI fund, that was positive. So that really helped the Nikkei jump. But Hong Kong and China fell because, the reverse is going on with the tech stocks there. Hong Kong fell 1.63%, and Shanghai fell 0.89%, because the Trump announcement on that private sector investment is really aimed to beat China in the AI race. So that weakened Hong Kong markets, and weakened the Chinese stocks. And Trump still is out there talking about 10% tariffs on Chinese goods that could have take effect February 1. I don't believe it, but he's still talking about it. So you got to, keep that in mind. But we did see weakness in those two sectors. And then we're moving on to oil, because oil is moving this morning. We're seeing, yesterday we saw big losses, but today it's flat to higher. It is flat to higher. What's really helping oil move higher is this winter storm, that's sweeping across the U.S. Gulf Coast, and it's affecting oil production. You look at North Dakota, the oil production fell by 100, fell to 130,000 from 160,000 barrels per day, according to their pipeline authority. It's due to this cold weather snap. And after the bell today, we do have the API data coming out. These are the oil stockpile estimates from last week. And tomorrow we're going to get the EIA data. So the stockpile data are going to be soon coming into focus. But that's what I have for you in terms of a morning market update report.
Bill, it's clear that the new presidential administration is still sort of stealing headlines and certainly a market driver. But as we heard from your opening, there are plenty of other things to be keeping a finger on the pulse of, and that includes earnings. You did mention some big names, obviously Netflix amongst the mix there. That was a big headline maker last night. So let's dive into earnings. Bill, what is going on in terms of earnings action?
Johnson & Johnson came out this morning, ticker J&J, John, Nancy, John. They beat by 2 cents. They did do it on high revenue, but their guidance was cautious. Now, when the earnings came out, the stock jumped. It was up about 2%. But that guidance kind of took over because it wasn't great. It was very conservative. And you look at a Johnson & Johnson now, it's down 1.61%. So there was a bump and then a pullback in that stock. Halliburton, EPS 70 cents. They came in at 70 cents. It was done on slightly lower revenue. But last night, United Airlines, they came in with a strong beat. That was very positive for the airline stocks. Overall, United Airlines is trading up 4.42%. They beat by 23 cents, and they did it on higher revenue. Then you have Netflix, ticker NFLX, which was a strong earnings report. Netflix beat by 7 cents on higher revenue, and they hit their highest subscription rates, ever. I mean, remember they had the sport. They're getting into sports. They had the Mike Tyson fight. They had NFL games on Sunday, on Christmas Day. So, that drove subscription rates. So that was all positive. And you look at Netflix this morning, Netflix is trading higher by 15% this morning. Wow, that was a strong report. Then you have Interactive Brokers, ticker IBKR, India Boy, Kilo Richard. They beat by 17 cents, and they did that on higher revenue. You look at IBKR, it's up 3.9% this morning. So that was a good one. After, then we have upcoming earnings. We get SLG, which is SL Green Realty. Their EPS is $1.53, and expected move is 8.35%. Then get Steel Dynamics, ticker STLD, Sam, Tom, Larry, David. Their EPS is $1.36. Their expected move is 9.93% when they release. And then you have Discover Financial, DFS. Their earnings EPS is $3.13, and the expected move is 4.70% when they release. But that's what I have for you in terms of earnings data, Emily.
Bill, I will note for our listeners that IBKR was your pick of the day yesterday. And before we sign off today, we will get to a check-in on that. So stick with us through the end of this show. Now we're going to get to the day's economic events. You did at least mention one report coming out that could be moving oil prices. So Bill, give us a rundown of everything we should be watching when it comes to economic events.
10 a.m. you have the Atlanta Fed business inflation expectations. Also at 10 a.m. you get the leading indicators report. And then at 4:30 p.m. Eastern time, you get the API stockpile estimates. That's going to be a big one because that's going to set the tone for oil. I mean, it could come in with a draw, which would be positive for oil, and but we'll have to wait and see. But that's coming out after the bell. Other than that, it's kind of light on the economic front this morning, Emily.
Bill, the other area that you're keeping track of this morning, as you do every morning, are the day's other market moving news. You're looking at information and data coming out of different sectors and segments. You're looking at things like merger news, guidance news, and shareholders meetings. You also look at your stocks grouped together every morning, like your FANG stocks and your Dow 30 stocks. So, Bill, what else do you see is possibly moving the markets today?
I'm just looking at my Dow stocks. I got 15 higher and 15 lower. So, it's really kind of flat even there. It's not really giving you a whole lot. And then you look at your FANG stocks. Apple is trading weaker, but, and Tesla is down 1%, but everything else is trading higher. And that Netflix gain is huge. So, that's all positive. Um, you're looking at some of the news behind the tape, like Apple's moving lower as it got hit with another downgrade this morning. There's a lot of concerns with Apple. I mean, the price target I think I saw was 183, which is definitely possible for the stock. Google, they made a fresh $1 billion investment into OpenAI's rival Anthropic. Meta's looking to debut these Oakley branded glasses later this year. Netflix, what can you say? Best subscription quarter ever. Netflix trading higher, 14.53%. Then we look at, in terms of the Dow Jones stocks, we just got to talk about Microsoft because that Musk urging that California judge to prevent OpenAI from transitioning to a for-profit entity. That's pretty big. And, his comments that Microsoft will dominate the cloud computing sector of a rapidly growing, expanding AI market is true. They'll have to go to Azure, and that and Microsoft's cloud computing division. I mean, they're going to have first right of refusal. They'll be able to say no to businesses that they don't want or ones they can't support. So yeah, that's very, very beneficial for Microsoft. You look at Microsoft; it's up 1.67% this morning. Remember that's a $435 stock. In terms of merger news, Ally, ticker ALLY, Apple, Larry, Yellow, they're going to be selling their credit card business to CardWorks. In terms of guidance, look at Netflix guidance. I mean, I don't, they see Q1 EPS of $5.58. Now, the street estimate is $5.97. So that's a downtick. Q1 revenue is expected to come in at 10.42 billion, where the street estimate is 10.49 billion. That's a downtick. They're basically saying the sports, that they did, the Paul and the NFL games, that those subscribers are not likely to hold. So you could see weakness ahead. But for now, you're seeing that Netflix trade, nearing in on $1,000. UAL, Uncle Apple Larry, they see Q1 adjusted EPS coming in 75 cents to $1.25. Street estimate's only 54 cents. So wow, that's a big uptick. Progressive Software, ticker PRGS, they see Q1 revenue coming in 232 million to 238 million. Street estimate's 235.8. That's a little high. Abbott Labs, ticker ABT, Apple Boy Tom, they see Q1 revenue coming in $1.05 to $1.09. Street estimate has it at $1.12. Not good for Abbott Labs. In terms of shareholders, there's nothing really significant today. But Costco, ticker COST, Charlie, Oscar, Sam, Tom, they're going to be having a shareholders meeting tomorrow. Remember, they got that union strike that's about to happen. So that's probably going to be a hot topic during the shareholders meeting tomorrow. So keep an eye on shares of Costco, ticker COST might show some weakness, and there will likely be some press releases tomorrow morning. But then that's really all I have for you in terms of news hitting the tape this morning, Emily.
This is the type of data that NewsWare delivers daily. It's factual, it's market moving, and our alerting functions bring it to your attention as it happens. Go to www.newsware.com now and sign up for the trial and see for yourself the benefits that professional Newswire delivers. It is now that time of the show for the Trade Talk pick of the day. Bill, what do you have for us today?
I'm going with Alaska Air, ticker ALK, Apple Larry Kilo. Listen, earnings are out tomorrow morning before the bell. EPS is 47 cents, and the expected move is 10.10%. Wow, that's nice. Now, you look at yesterday's call volume, 2,593 calls versus put volume of 1,279. That's 2-to-1. You look at the open interest, 60,818 versus 30,217. Again, 2-to-1. Major brokers are raising price target. They do like the stock. The airlines have been coming in with strong earnings, so that's all positive. Now, for me to get in, I got to get in under 69. I'm actually thinking 68.50. I think the stock's a little overvalued right now. So I got to wait for that entry price, and I don't know if it's going to hit. If it trades, 69 or under, then maybe I'll get in. I mean, but I'd rather not hold it into earnings because I do think Trump's going to be talking tough. That could cause the market to weaken tomorrow. But today I'm watching Alaska Air. I'm ticker ALK. I'm hoping for some morning weakness so I can jump in at a good price and achieve a gain today of 1%. But that's my pick of the day. Alaska Air, ticker ALK, Apple Larry Kilo, Emily.
Bill, another earnings play today. And coming up, we're going to see how your earnings play worked out yesterday when we do that recap. So stick with us. But first, let's take a look at the current breaking headlines that have hit the tape in our hot off the press segment. Bill, take it away.
Okay, what do we got here? McCormick, ticker MKC, they're going to be releasing earnings tomorrow morning. American Airlines, they're releasing tomorrow morning. SMTI, San Michael Tom India, Sandra Medtech, they acquired exclusive U.S. distribution rights to OSIC. GE releasing earnings tomorrow morning. Expected move is $10.93. Call put ratio is 1.04. That's not good. DoorDash, a new partnership with Home Depot for on-demand delivery, ticker DASH dash. Nice. ICE, ticker ICE, reports 2 billion futures and options traded in 2024. Uber Eats, UBER, Uber Eats and Home Depot announced a partnership as well. S&P is collaborating with IBM to deploy AI government solutions. Saudi Arabia's prince could invest in TikTok if Elon Musk or others decide to buy it. Okay. That's all I'm seeing this morning.
Okay, Bill, before we dive into trading on this Wednesday, let's do that check-in on yesterday's pick of the day. We pointed it out earlier in the show was Interactive Brokers. Now, I did a search of the ticker symbol on my NewsWare this morning, and I see raised to 210 at Piper Sandler, raised to 222 at Jefferies, raised to 225 at Citi, raised to 231 at Barclays, all hitting the tape this morning. As you told us during your earnings rundown, they did report earnings after the bell yesterday. They reported a Q4 EPS of $2.03. Now, that was well ahead of the estimates, which were a wide range, $1.52 to $1.86, but a beat any way you slice it. Revenue rose 22% and came in at $1.39 billion ahead of consensus estimates that were anywhere from $1.29 billion to $1.37 billion. Again, a beat either way there. This was as customers traded more stocks and racked up higher credit balances. The company said Q4 customer accounts increased 30% to 3.4 million. A lot of good stuff in that report. Bill, how did your call work out?
Worked out fabulous. I mean, look at the stock. It opened up at 192.63. 192.63. And I said, under 191 is kind of was my target price. Well, the stock did fall. It actually fell down to 190.66. So it did fall under that 191 level. So perfect. And then it rallied and it closed at 192.83. And then after the earnings announcement, when that came out, it hit 198.50. And then, look at the stock this morning. It already hit a high of 206. Listen, it's trading 201 right now, but it did hit a high of 206 already this morning. So Interactive Brokers, 192.63 was the opening price, and it's trading over 200. So yeah, it was a big winner, very good win, very happy. IBKR winner, winner, winner.
A solid win there, Bill, and a solid trading day. And we will check in with you tomorrow on today's earnings play with Alaska Air and see how that pick of the day works out. Bill, thank you as always for your expert insight. Join us back here tomorrow at NewsWare's Trade Talk when we provide the facts, themes, and trading ideas for the day ahead. Again, I'm your host, Emily Advani, here with trading anchor Bill Olson. Traders, you know what to do. Let's go out there and make some green.